I'm going to talk more about the global challenges which the peasants around the globe are really facing, because this is the community which I belong. We are looking at the challenges of the climate crisis, which has already affected so many communities, replacing the people from their origin, looking at how they are now being forced to produce food the way we don't really want. So this is some of the challenges, the introduction of food production systems which are totally against the environment, which are totally against the wish of the peasants, the small-scale farmers, the small fisher folks, the landless people. So it is a very big challenge which we are facing right now, and also we are looking at the issues of the introduction of these GMO seeds. Yet we are very much aware that at a global level, each and every community has its own indigenous seeds which they've been using for ages and ages. So it is another challenge where we are facing this introduction of these GMO seeds. And now we are also looking at these policies which are bringing more of these transnational corporations, the multinational corporations, which are now imposing these agricultural policies which are totally not incorporating the will, the wishes, the likes of the peasants. As Via Campesina, we are really more into fighting to bring back what belongs to us. What I mean by that is to have ownership on food production, seed production, all those issues I have been really talking about. We are also in a position to struggle for the right of the peasants, because when we look at the food production, who are the people who are really more into agriculture? These are the small-scale farmers, the peasants themselves, the fisher folks, the landless people, who are the majority, and especially women, who are the majority of food producers. So as Via Campesina, we are more into bringing all these actors together so that we struggle together, we are united in fighting for justice, fighting for our rights in food production, in whatsoever we want to achieve. For us, as a global peasant movement, just here in this decade of family farming, who are those family farmers? It's us, Via Campesina, the peasants, the small livestock keepers, the fisher folks. We are the majority of the family farmers. And what are our expectations from the decade? Unless we are also part and parcel of the policy formulation process, the decade is not going to achieve anything. So it's an area where we really want to be part and parcel of policy formulation process at local, national, regional, and at a global level, like we are here in Rome, where policies are being formulated. We are happy we are in the steering committee, but that's not enough. The process should be coming from down to top. One, we are also looking at the decade of family farming as our space where we now bring whatever issues we have, whatever issues we want, and be able to identify who are the allies whom we want to work with to achieve the decade of family farming. And one other thing which we are hoping to is, because we know IFAD is where we can get some support financially, and IFAD should also play a very big role to help our national governments, to support them financially so that our work at national level is also recognized, and they should be in a position to make sure no one is left within our national respective countries, because sometimes we are facing challenges where funds are available and through their channeled through the government, but some of our farmer organizations are left out because most of the government, they have their interest with other organizations which are not really part and parcel of these processes. So it's a very challenging situation, and we think the decade of family farming is not going to leave anyone out. Maybe just to add on how we really want this decade of family farming to be actively implemented is the areas where we really need capacity building for the rest of the communities who are in the rural areas. And much of the information of the decade should really be simplified, that each and every actor is knowledgeable of the meaning of all the contents in this decade of family farming, so that it doesn't remain a document, an action plan of few people. We know very well the communication strategies where we really want to make use of the media, but which media do we really want, which will also recognize our role? So during the decade of family farming implementation, I think we really need to see the media which is really in support of the family farmers initiatives, which spread out exactly what we want and what we are doing. We don't want a media sector which is really, what can I say, which is segregative, which selects, which is so selective. But we really want to see a communication, to build a communication strategy where everyone is free to say out and the message is spread out as to our wish. Let me say that we are also happy as Via Campesina because of the adoption of the Declaration for Peace and Rights and people working in the rural areas. It is 17 years of struggle for this declaration to be adopted. Now here comes the decade of family farming. We are so much embraced that I think without implementing the declaration of the peasant rights and people working in the rural areas, then the decade of family farming is not going to be achieved at all, because that is where we have spelled out the rights of the peasants, the rights of the landless people, the rights of the small livestock keepers, the indigenous people, what we are demanding, how we really want to change the world to a better world where everyone is free from hunger, from poverty, and where everyone is smiling and the environment is also back to normal. So we have built up a communication team which enables us to understand what the other region, the Spanish-speaking people, the French-speaking communities, the English-speaking, and right now in Africa we have Swahili. So all these people, the communication strategy which we have put into place in Via Campesina, it's of much great importance, and there's no way we can work across the globe without these communication strategies which we are talking about. And regarding the implementation of the decade, it will be very important because we also be knowledgeable of what is happening around the world and how we can also pressurize maybe some of our governments, learning from other governments who have already started these processes. So communication is the best tool for everything.